welcome in. It's Julie Maxon, the Maine Stamper. I'm here for your Thursday at 3 card inspiration. And on Thursdays at 3, I always like to do a little bit of something fun. And this is our fun fold class. Usually it's a fun fold. Sometimes it's a 3D project. Today we're definitely having fun. And if you are a fan of polka dots, look at me. I'm wearing blue today with white polka dots. I have to show you the card. The card is super cute. So this is our little card here. I'm just making sure you can see it. This is our card today. See the red with white polka dots? We are polka dotting here. Raise your hand if you love polka dots. They're just fun and cute. Now, speaking of fun and cute, check out the card, right? So this is our card. We've been playing with wishes all around. So we've got this really great tree wreath here, and then it opens up, as you can see, right? We've got some fun action going on here. This is the inside of the card. This is what we're making today. Now, I have sent you, hi Jess, thanks for letting me know I'm good. I sent you in your email newsletter today the PDF tutorial for this. So if you're not on my newsletter list yet, on Thursdays I send out a lot of information. You got to scroll down. I hide it toward the bottom, but there is PDF card tutorial. It goes hand in hand with, hi Rhonda, it goes hand in hand with the project that I share on Thursdays. So let's get over to my workspace because we're going to check out this card. We're going to look a little bit more at the Wishes All Around bundle. It is so awesome. Please continue to say hi as you jump on. I love to know who's hanging out with me in the craft room. And I also, when I do the videos, I don't always read comments right away, but I do check them out later on, and if I can catch your comments, I will reply as well. So hopefully here's our card. Okay, so you can see our card again. So it is a fun fold. It's kind of like, it's almost like there's a mystery here holding this all together. So we're going to talk a little bit about how this goes together. This is a really great concept. You can have any element in the same kind of card design where you can hold your two panels together. So basically, we're holding our card base panel which stops short with the base panel here. And for this card, I did choose to put a window sheet behind it only because this tree wreath is kind of delicate, and I wanted to try to do this card without any support, but I really did need to take advantage of the window sheet. So it almost looks invisible. It really is a lot of fun. We've been playing with the Wishes All Around bundle. These are wonderful dies, wonderful stamps. I had a lot of fun with my Monday class. In fact, we kind of went through pretty much all of it on Monday. So on Monday, we started out, in case you haven't seen, we did Make It Merry. And this is part of your card kits for the week if you order with me with my host code. So in your card kits, you're going to get 2 different kinds of designer series paper. And we focused on the green, gold, and vanilla. And it was just absolutely beautiful. Now, this is kind of... everything about this card is similar other than the designer series paper. These will be in your kit. This is my color swap card. So you can see I changed up the colors and I chose some real red and some crumb cake. So check out the trees on crumb cake, right? Totally different look. Now this is stamped in garden green, and I did the little sprigs here in the vanilla, but really great concept. Then we moved on to the snowflakes and the blues. This is Pretty Peacock, and you'll be making 2 of those with your kits. And then we did this one. This one I love, absolutely love. This one is almost like an ornament and super fun and fancy. So that was the card class on Monday. If you want information on that or rewatch it, you can check out YouTube or my Facebook channel here for the replay. So again, we're using Wishes All Around stamp set and dies today for our fun fold card. And it is found on page 35 of the mini catalog with some more samples as well. Now, it's still cheaper to purchase the bundle than it is to wait until next week and get the dies at a discount. So the last chance product list is coming out next week. These dies will be discounted, but the stamp set is not. So I did the math. It's cheaper to get the bundle than it's going to be to get the dies at a discount. Now, if all you want is the dies, then wait until next week and just get the dies. You'll get, I think it's 10% off. But if you want the stamp set, which you're going to want the trees, right? And it's great Christmas greetings. You'll want to get the bundle now. So that's just a little bit of information. Here's the Wishes All Around PDF that you're going to get, and it just kind of goes with the card. I have some great some different little pictures here to help you with your assembly. You've got the card recipe, the supplies we've used, and the directions. So it's all right here. It's in your newsletter. You can print that or save that. I have all the parts and pieces right here too. We will be using Mossy Meadow and Cherry Cobbler ink. So those are our 2 inks today, as you can kind of see. And I have to apologize. This cute polka dot paper that we're using, now this is the back side of it. This is from Shining Brightly Shining Christmas. Let me see, what is it called? Shining Christmas. I didn't realize that this designer series paper is no longer available. So you can't get the paper anymore, but you can certainly swap in other paper. Hey Jane, hi Sandra, Rhonda, Connie. So good to see you guys on here. Swap in other paper. I know you're doing that anyway. Take the recipe, swap in different paper. So I will be using this because I've already got it cut. So we're just going to continue, and you guys can, at home, you guys can just be really creative. Maybe you don't even like this paper that much. Maybe you're like, nope, I would use something different entirely. We're going to start out with a little piece of cardstock here at 4 1/4 by 11. Now this is the hot dog cut, right? So it's the long piece of cardstock. And if I can get my trimmer going in the right direction here, we're going to score this at 5 1/2. Now this is a tent fold. So we're scoring at 5 1/2. So basically if you were to fold this in half, we line up our little ends here and we bring in a bone folder and then burnish our crease outward. And that kind of gives us a fighting chance at getting a nice, first of all, really nice crease. And secondly, it really helps us to line it up. So you can see that this would be the tent fold. If you opened it this way, it sits like a tent, right? From the hot dog cut, that's what we're getting. Now the first thing we're going to do is we need to trim this up. So we're going to decide which is the front, and it really doesn't matter, but you can look at it and see what you like best. We're going to put this in our trimmer and we're going to cut away, I'm looking at my directions here, 3 1/2 inches. So I'm going to just bring this over to 3 1/2. And the first cut, it's so scary to cut that, right? Because you're like, oh, what if I mess up? Well, then you got to cut more paper, or you just work it around, right? So you can see here that this is what I have left of my card base, which is what I have right here. So this piece right here, plus my card base, is what we got going on. Now we're going to still use this paper. We're going to keep it the same length of 4 1/4, but we're going to trim it now into a 2-inch piece. So right now it's 3 1/2. Now we want just 2 inches. So we're going to save this piece for our card front. This little piece right here is just a scrap. So I'm going to set that aside so I don't get confused. All right, there's the scoring. Now basically, this is the front, right? This is going to be the part on the bottom. That's going to be this section right here. And these will be magically held together by my tree and of course the window sheet, right? The window sheet will help too. So there we go. That is the basic cutting for this card. And then of course, if you had a different element that you wanted to put in here, you could put a cupcake for a birthday. You could make even just a cute little square, make it into a present. It could still be a birthday or a Christmas card, right? You could put anything in here, a snowman. You can get creative. There's lots of ways to get creative with it. And I love that, all the possibilities. So let's bring in some stamps, and we're going to do a little stamping. We've got the Mossy Meadow. Now this is the this is per the directions, right? So I've got a 3 1/2 inch square here of the white, and we're going to Mossy Meadow it up. Now I chose Mossy Meadow and Cherry because that's the colors from my designer paper. So I just went with the colors in the paper, and that's what makes it easy with Stampin' Up! Is they kind of tell you what colors to use. You don't have to guess. Does this green go? Does this red go? It all goes, right? And I love the tunnel vision here, like kind of that in-depth fun house look at the trees. I adore that so much. I've been having a lot of fun with this particular stamp set. Now in my class on Monday, I didn't use Christmas greetings. I mean, I used Christmas greetings, but I didn't use the stamp that says Christmas greetings. I used all the other ones instead. So this time we're going to give Christmas greetings a little bit of love. I've got a scrap here that's about 3/4 wide. I think it's about 4 inches long. And the font is beautiful. I love the font here. So gorgeous. All right, we're going to close this guy up, and then we're going to just trim our Christmas greetings. I love the angle cut. I'm just going to come in here kind of close to the S and go upwards. I'm going to flip my paper, and I'm going to do the same angle. I find it's easier for me to do it this way because it's easier just to have my scissors go in this direction no matter which way I'm cutting the paper. And that gives us this really great angle for the card front. You can see it here as well, right? So it is fantastic. Now there is a die for this. We looked at the dies earlier. We have from the wreath dies, we have this one right here. So this is our Christmas tree die. I know it looks kind of funny, right? But it does fit beautifully. You just kind of spin the wheel here. Choose a vowel or a consonant if you if you're playing games. But we're going to do this. We're going to die cut it, and then here's what it looks like when you're done. So the center comes out of it, and this is what's left. And it is a little bit delicate, which is why I decided we needed a little bit of window sheet to help us out as well. All right, so we're going to work on the bones of our card now. So I've got all the designer series paper cut. There are two sizes. So there's one that's a little bit wider and longer, and there's one that's a little bit shorter and narrower. And I'm going to just try to find everything. Here's my window sheet. It looks a little invisible right now. So I'm moving these around so you can see everything. Now on the inside of my card, because you can see all the way into the inside of the card, I have a couple of layers here because I love the layers. So I've got Mossy Meadow in white, and these are just going to nest right here on the inside. So this is the flap for the front. We're just going to open it up. Right now is the easiest time to work with this. So we're going to adhere down the white to the mossy. Now I want you to notice that when I do the inside, I went around closer to the outside of the edges. I mean, I don't go too close to the outside because glue goops. We know that glue goops, right? So I hit all four outside. I did not do anything in the middle, and there's a reason for that, especially for your inside sentiment pieces, your cards that you're putting together. If you're using a white insert, I recommend you don't put any adhesive in the middle because you're going to stamp here. And when we stamp here, if there's glue and it's bumpy, or there's tape and it's bumpy, it's going to make it a little bit more, well, bumpy, right? So we're not going to do that. And I'm going to do the same thing here again when I'm putting this Mossy Meadow on the inside. I'm just doing the four outside edges. It's not going to go through a windstorm, right? So don't worry about, every square inch does not need adhesive. And there we go, just like that. Now this is the inside, and isn't it cute, right? So the inside. Now we're putting the Make It Merry on the inside, and you can see it through the wreath. See how cute that is? Now here's where you have to be brave, right? So I'm going to take this is going to end up on the bottom. We haven't put all of our pretty papers together yet, but it's going to come here on the bottom eventually. So I'm going to dry fit it here so that it matches my card base. I'm going to bring in my stamp set, Make It Merry, and my Cherry Cobbler ink, and we're gonna hold this flap down because it doesn't really want to stay quite as nicely. Now this is my spot right here, this white in the middle. I don't have any ink on here yet, so you can kind of dry fit. Make It Merry will fit right there. So we're basically trying to line it up side to side and hit the middle of this. And here we go. So hopefully this will work, and if it doesn't, I have a workaround. But let's talk about making it work first. So Make It Merry is going to go right here, and there it is. So Make It Merry is on the inside. And I know sometimes it can be scary to stamp after you've glued. So if you don't feel confident in that, my workaround is super simple. Grab some scraps. I love punches. These are nesting punches. This is the 2-inch punch, the 2 3/8-inch punch. You can punch and put this in here just like this. So let's pretend I messed this up terribly, which is not out of the realm of possibility. I would put that in there and then call it good, right? So you can doctor up if you have to. So if you're really panicked about, oh my gosh, she wants me to line all that up, I'll never be able to do it. First of all, try, because I say you just never know, right? The odds could be in your favor. And then there's always the workaround. Don't sweat too much. Now we're going to bring in all of our little layering pieces. So we've got 2 of this white cardstock, and these are going to nest onto, this is our bottom panel of our card, right? So that's going to be beautiful. And this top one's going to come up here. So we're going to nest these onto here, top and bottom. And again, I am just a fan of layering, so I was really excited to put this card together. Now we're going to bring in our designer paper. Now remember, I said earlier we've got 2 different sizes. We're going to use the shorter ones on the front. And this is where you want to keep in mind, if you have a very busy pattern like this one, for example, I mean, I love it, but the trees are going to kind of disappear on it. So I chose a pattern that would have something different and more solid. So I have to put this pretty holly berry shiny paper down on this side, but I'm going to use the pretty paper on the inside. So I think it's okay, right? Kind of, and it's nice that they match and go together too. So I'm just finishing putting together all of my layers. Make sure that everybody is nicely lined up. So again, we've got our top and we've got our bottom right here, and Make It Merry, beautiful in the middle. Now we're going to talk about how to line up the trees to bridge the distance here. So we are going to bring in, this is a great space to use your little dimensional outside lines, right? So we've got all these great little dimensional pieces that we're going to snip a whole bunch of them. These are just the outside leftover remnants, right? So I found that if you can kind of line this up so that you have a couple of trees thinking about top and bottom at 12 and 6 o'clock, right? So I'm going to flip this back over. We're going to pretend 12 and 6 o'clock are right here. So we're just going to put some dimensionals here at the 12, a couple on the 12. We're going to come down and we're going to do a couple on the 6. Now I'm putting it lower to the tree base, to where the trunk of the tree would be, rather than higher. And that's on purpose because when we put this on here, we want to be able to catch the dimensionals onto each of the paper's top and bottom. And I'm just kind of testing here. I can get a little bit more, and I think the directions said four of these little dimensional pieces will work really well, but you just have to be careful that you're really keeping it as far up as you can, because you don't want them to come over. You don't want the dimensionals to show through on the inside. So if you didn't hit the paper here, they're going to show through when you open up your card. So just being really careful about where you're putting them. I'm putting super tiny ones here on the bottom. So I've got 4 and 4. So we're going to pop these apart real quickly, and then we're going to layer them very carefully onto our card so that we can catch the top and bottom panels. It's going to help to hold our card in a position where we can open and close it. So this is kind of technical, but really not that difficult. And obviously if you use different elements, I mean, this one's very open. You don't have to use a very open element. You could use something entirely different. Again, I'm going to dry fit this piece right here on the bottom, and then I'm going to line up my trees to the top and the bottom. So I think we're going to go right about here. And to add to the fun, right, we're going to try to center our Mary, make it Mary here, and kind of center everything. So I've got this one on here. We're beautiful. Took a peek, right? I don't have any showing on this side. Now let's see if I can get this line back up again and put this down. Takes a second, right? So I'm just kind of feeling where my dimensionals are. This one might be a problem. This one might have popped through a little bit, and it just did a tiny little bit. So I'm going to maybe back this one off a little bit, very delicately. Okay, we're going to back that one off, and I'm just going to keep the 3 there. So we have this together. We have it together. I love that we have it together. Thanks for joining me for togetherness. Okay, so here's our card. Now again, this is how it's going to open if we don't put a window sheet in. So you see it's a little bit wonky. It's a little bit like, this is very delicate, but it's super cute. So I really loved it. So I was like, okay, so we need more. So we're going to do window sheets now. If I can find my window sheet, it disappeared on my work surface. So I'm just having you trim a little piece of window sheet. You're going to see that it overlaps just enough on the opposite side here. And my favorite way to do the window sheet adhering is, of course, the tear and tape. Love the tear and tape. Okay, so I'm going to kind of move this upside down this way, and we're going to just bring some tear and tape in, top and bottom. Okay, so we're kind of snug here to the edge because the window sheet isn't going to be super long. So I'm going to just pull this off. If your tear and tape is a little long, you can flip it over so that it comes backwards. And it's just so easy to use. I love the tear and tape. Okay, window sheet is going to go on now. So I've got tear and tape on both sides. So I'm just going to line this up. Again, kind of flush so that it is even. Make sure that your tape's going to adhere. So now I've got the window sheet here and here. It's going to help to keep this now it's a little bit steadier, which is nice. But it's not as pretty anymore, right? Because now we have this tape and this window sheet, and that's where the extra designer series paper comes in. So we're actually going to layer this over top of here so that we don't see, the things that aren't as pretty. Now again, with window sheet, the adhesive can be a little bit tricky. So I'm going to bring in more tear and tape, and I'm going to just basically put it right exactly over top of my previous tear and tape. So it's coming right back in, and this take your pick tool is the best way to get this off of here. So it will peel up. It will, as I say that, it's the best way. There it goes. And we're going to do this one more time. So there we go. Not too bad, right? Now for the rest of it, I do need to put some adhesive down. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive down on here. And then this is going to go over top. So it's going to be glued, and it's going to stick to this tear and tape. So we're going to pop this in here, kind of snug to the bottom so that we can, cover up that spot. and it may not be, I have it trimmed just slightly, so it's just a little bit smaller than the size that it needs to go into. And again, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to bring this in. We're going to put this around, just making sure I can see where it's going. There we go. So we did get to use the pretty shiny side too, which is nice. Make it merry, and there it is, right? Make it merry. Now the last thing we have is our little Christmas greetings sentiment, which I'm going to recommend some dimensionals for. I have a few left on this sheet. They're hiding in the corners, so I'm going to grab 3 of them and pop those onto my little sentiment piece. This is just going to come down here on the bottom. Christmas greetings. And again, the great combination of the reds and the greens, right? Very Christmassy. Now without the bow, it just looks a little off, right? It looks like it needs something at the top. So we definitely want to bring in some ribbon for this. This ribbon is it's in the annual catalog. It's actually real red, and the card base that I'm using here is Cherry Cobbler. So they go together quite nicely. This is a combo pack. It actually comes with a burlap, like a thicker burlap ribbon. But I find that challenging bows are challenging. I find that bows are challenging. I also find that I use the red a lot at Christmas time. So we're going to just have a nice little bow here. Hopefully it's not too crooked. I might do a little bit more adjusting. And I do like to use the tear and tape on my bow. So I'm just going to flip this over and put my little tear and tape on there, peel that off, turn it around, make sure I'm good here. I feel like my bow, I hurried my bow here just because I know this is probably kind of running a little bit longer than my normal Thursdays at 3. And I know you guys love hanging out with me, and I love that you love hanging out with me, but I also know, you know, this is a very busy time of year. So there it is. So cute, right? The little bow at the top just really finishes it off nicely. I absolutely adore this card. I love the colors. I love everything about it, really. So I just wanted to share that fun, extra fun. I'm putting extra fun into my cards right now because it's like getting to be the merry season, and I love it. Jess says it's beautiful. Thank you. Hi, Sandra loves it too. And Lori loves it. Oh my gosh, I'm glad you guys are giving it so much love. Thank you so much. Now this really isn't hard, right? I put this together in pretty quick time. I didn't have, I already had paper pre-cut, but if you have the card recipe, you can chop up some paper and get really crafty and creative with this. This is a wow card, so it's one that you would probably make for a few special people. I wouldn't recommend you make 150 of them, but you know, if you want to, then go for it. You guys are awesome that way. So thanks for joining me for the Fun Fold. I love Thursdays at 3. It's really a great time. Check out the email today and get your card recipe. And if you're not on my email newsletter yet, go ahead and sign up. Ask me how to sign up. I will get you that information. It is on my blog as well. And I will be sharing some more information about the November. I forgot to talk about this. I was going to mention this to you guys. This is the November Card Maker Collective Club. I'll just flip through the cards really quickly. Which way am I going? You're making 2 of each of these if you've got the Christmas Classics bundle or the Joy of Noel suite. You're good to go. You're going to get some consumable products that are worth more than $25 before shipping and tax. I'm shipping you 8 card kits. You get private video, you get PDFs, and it's under $40. So it's a really awesome deal. If you need some more inspiration for Christmas cards, make sure you ask me for more information. I will be trying to do an email about that as well. You guys are so welcome. I'm so glad you could join me. And until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, everybody.